All right, guys. All right, so here it is. We got the hood. We're getting gas. Today was a great success. Today was so successful. What's happening, everybody? It is early morning here for me in this video. Obviously, I am going to be driving almost 600 miles today through Canada, so it's going to be a fun drive. I'll keep you in tuned with it as we go. And it looks like a nice 2003. Yep. All right, guys, we are 2 cars from going through security here, through the border. I'm going to not film because I don't want to be messing with anybody. So I'll give you an update when I go through. All right, so we are in Canada. That was easy. The guy just questioned me, firearms, tobacco, duty-free, nothing, anything light. Just making sure I wasn't doing anything. Asked me where I was going, what I was doing, and now I'm about to tell you what I'm doing. I am driving over to Michigan to meet a parts car to pick up the parts for this rebuild project. And when I was Googling this last night, it said to, I don't even know what the speed limit is here, it's in kilometers. It said that I need to cross through, it's 100 miles an hour, kilometers, 100 kilometers an hour. Okay, I'm doing 100. It's 65 miles an hour. Okay, so it said that I needed to cross through Canada, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. So here we are, we're crossing north of Lake Erie over to Michigan. It saves me about 150 miles of driving by doing this, and maybe 15 minutes of a hassle, which really wasn't a hassle. I told the guy to follow me on YouTube if he was interested in cars, and he smiled and said, have a nice day. So here we are. This is what we're doing, and we're having fun. I want to say this, guys, this car that I'm rebuilding is definitely a little bit more difficult to find parts. There's parts online, they're really expensive if you find them. But if you can ideally find one part car, like what I did here, you can get a nice grouping, because these guys that buy these cars for salvage, doing this for a living. So when you offer them quick cash, you know, they can capture a couple grand out of a car that they buy for a couple $100 off auction, right? So it's a good ROI for them. So that being said, when you're doing this kind of work, it's good to find one parts car. If you're buying a Saab to rebuild, 06 to 09 95s is really hard to find one single parts car. I got lucky on this one, but you can find parts scattered through the internet. It's just going to cost you a little bit more money. However, if you buy an 05 or older for a 95, there's more of them in production. I feel like based on just seeing what's going on in the market. So to find a parts car in that era is going to be a little easier. Now on the flip coin, the 93s, regardless of the old generation 93 or the new generation 93, you should be able to find parts cars no problem, because I feel like they made millions of those, not literally, just hypothetically, just based on looking at the market, right? So if you're thinking about building a Saab and you're going to do this like I just did, just be careful if you buy a 9.5 between 06 and 09, and of course the kind of damage that it may have. because the last thing you want to do is get a car and then pay premiums across the board for the parts. And in this situation, I'm not going to disclose it right now, but I have every single part I need to replace this except one headlight, the bumper cover, and a condenser for the air conditioning. Of course, all of those parts are available online. However, if I just go ahead and buy it, I'm going to pay a premium. So for the next week or so, while I am traveling and whatnot, I'm going to be shopping, see if something comes up on the market. So always have patience. All right, so I've been sitting for 30 minutes. However, I cut the line by 2 miles, so probably saved myself 2 hours. So we're like 2 cars and 2 trucks back from the toll, which is great. So once I get through that, I'm through customs and I am off and running. This is kind of funny how I did this. All right, that first booth was pay $4.25.
Move to the right.
Happy to do so, and now we're off to customs. Next line of traffic. All right, guys. All right, so here it is. We got the hood, we're getting gas. Today was a great success. Today was so successful, you're about to find out really how good we have it. The hood needs some paint, and this fender is in good shape, but it does have some dings that if I'm gonna be painting the hood, I might as well just fix the ding and repaint the hood, repaint the fender here. But we got our radiator, we got our radiator support, we got the passenger side headlight, we have power steering hose that was broken, we have this new pipe here that was busted. The guy gave me the MAF sensor too, which is fabulous. Got my intercooler over here, and the other thing that's not being shown is I also have the lower rad hose that was busted, so that's a good thing. Our hood is strapped in 2 ways, so it won't slide this way or that way. And also these straps, I mean, this thing literally will push the car. That's how solid it is on there. So I can drive however fast I need to, which is fantastic. So I'll give you an update at some point in this video. I am going to be traveling this weekend, but I will be home Sunday. So stay tuned, guys. All right, guys, welcome back. As you know, we took a long 1,200-mile journey, and to ask the question to you was it worth it? Well, I think it was. We have a brand new hood, we have a radiator frame, we have a new fender, only one driver's side headlight, which is fine. New intake over here. We have a new power steering line, which was cracked from the accident. We have a new wastegate actuator, which was also bent in from the accident. And I'll just show you over here. You can see that this is caved in on the wastegate. You can see that our lower rad hose is busted, and here is our power steering line. So we have all that. And over here, you'll see that we have a new intercooler and a new radiator complete with a new lower rad hose. So, was it worth it? I think so. We have everything we need except for a brand new bumper, which I'm still looking for. So if you're out there in the Saab community and you have a parts car or know of a parts car from 2006 to 2009, I'm still looking for a front bumper, and I also am still looking for a passenger side headlight. Aside for those 2 items, I'm good to go. I need an AC condenser, but I can pick one up either brand new for $100 or a local parts guy that I personally know that will have one. So let's dive into this. The first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna replace the wastegate and of course the power steering lines. That's easy to get access to while this is all opened up like this. So let's do it.